Sunday, October 26th. Good morning. I'm here with a little bit of a message from Spirit. I'm using the Halloween tarot deck because we only have a few more days until Halloween. And whether that's a holiday you celebrate or not, I hope you make the best of it because we're entering into the darker time of year. And with that being said, we got to get all the joy we can. I'm a big fan of the Burr months, September, October, November, December, and all of the joy that comes with that. All of the holidays, the festivities. And I wish that we could continue it on after New Year's, but I guess we'll make do with Valentine's Day. All right, let's talk about today, October 26th. The message Spirit has from us comes to us from the Emperor. Okay. Have you ever heard the term divine femininity? Okay. In some traditions, it's called goddess energy, love divinity. It is one of the polarities that exist. And from my experience, divine femininity is what Eastern traditions would call yin, as in yin and yang, or as it's pronounced, yang, yin and yang. If divine femininity exists, so doesn't the divine masculine, as a polarity, not as a gender or sexuality. And that's what we see in that yin-yang or yang dichotomy, the passive, receptive, the active, assertive. And the Emperor calls into question that for you. It is the divine masculine. It is authority and protectiveness and structure. And, you know, if you want to strip it down to its basics, think about what a really good dad is. I like to think of this as the Santa Claus card. Because Santa Claus to me is an emblem or a representation of the divine masculine. Protective, loving, all of that. And we can see that in the divine feminine. That's why in that yin yang symbol we see the masculine and the feminine and the feminine and the masculine. But let's talk about hypermasculinity and toxic masculinity, because we deal with that a lot in our world around us. Men that are really emotionally unintelligent, not in touch with their emotions, the ones that are selfish and greedy and perpetual 12-year-olds. I have suffered at the hands of them, not necessarily my father, but other men in this world, as I'm sure you have along the way. I want you to sit with that, because if you're somebody who's been mistreated by men in this world, it's really important to remember that there are good men, strong men, whether they're your brothers, your husbands, your sons, what have you. There are good men in this world, and we can't let the rotten apples spoil the bunch. It's hard for me to go on social media and look at any of the public comments on any news article, because there are a lot of awful, selfish, nasty people. Most of them, when it comes to that, sadly, are men. The whole thing about the EBT and SNAP benefits running out at the beginning of November, I've really seen the bottom of the barrel when it comes to humanity. People who just say those people need to get a job. And if you are one of those people need to get a job. Sad to say, you're clueless, because there are people out there that have 2 jobs that can't afford groceries or heat. There are elders out there that need the money. And the fact that we live in a society where that's even necessary is the travesty. People on SNAP and EBT, they're not your enemies. The billionaires, the ones who create a really awful capitalistic society that we live in, that, you know, ensure that for how long now minimum wage has been $7.25 an hour in the United States. Don't let the system manipulate you. And it's really an opportunity to see those who have empathy and compassion and those who don't. And from my experience and what I've seen, it's more men than it is women. It's just the way of the world, I guess. So with that being said, Don't let the bastards grind you down, and don't let the assholes define half of humanity. Okay? Kind of on a tangent there. All my love to you. Be good to yourself. Be good to your neighbor. Love your neighbor. Have empathy for your neighbor. And sit with the divine in all of us. All my love to you. To find me and my readings and my podcasts and meditations, all that stuff, please find me online at joshsimons.com.